how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So today we're speaking with Jason Rockman, who's heading a really cool project, and it's called Kings of Quarantine. And
Yeah.
it's basically like raising funds, like for Roadie Relief, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's a covers project. It's we, my guitar player and I from Slaves on Dope, wanted to do. Well, it actually started with a conversation with my friend Bill, who plays guitar in Mastodon, and we were talking about a Rush cover that he did with one of the guys from Tool and the bass player from Primus. And I was like, man, this cover is really, really cool. And he said, yeah, he goes, it was a lot of fun to do. Maybe we could do one together. And I was like, man, well, we don't usually talk about music together. Like, it's not really our friendship's not really based on that. It's based on other things. But I'm also a big fan of Mastodon, and I love Bill's. I love what he does musically. And when he asked me to do something, I was like, well, I better jump at the opportunity to do something with him. So I reached out to Kevin. And Kevin is a record producer. He's also my best friend. And I was like, do you want to do this? He's like, absolutely. So what song do you think we should do? Well, let's do Faith No More's We Care a Lot, because it makes a lot of sense with what's going on at that time, especially, which was almost a year ago. The roadies were completely out of work. I mean, now a lot of touring's come back. It's trickling in, but it's not exactly full blown like it used to be.
Yeah.
But it really was fitting at the time. So we just started, I started reaching out to all these people that I knew. And I put together like an all-star lineup for that cover. And the first one we did, we had Ray, the drummer from Korn. We had the bass player from Anthrax. We had Ivan from Men Without Hats on keyboards. We had Daryl from Run DMC. We had the singer from Quicksand. We had the singer from Refused. We had the singer from Our Lady Peace. We had one of the guys from Czarface. It was just bananas. It was just crazy. And it got such a great response. We said, well, let's continue doing them. So we just released our fourth one last week. And I don't know if we're going to do more. We'll see, because things are starting to come back to normal a bit.
Yeah.
But it's a fun project. It's a really fun project because you can literally ask anybody from any band, and if they say yes, you just put it together, and it's all done from a distance. So everybody just sends in their recording. Then they'll send in a video of them doing their part, and Kevin will put the audio together, and my friend Ryan will put the video together. So it's just a really, really fun project to see all the pieces, to gather the pieces and have them fit together in one big puzzle. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging, but it's fun.
Yeah, I saw them. So everyone looks like they're having a really good time making them. And like you said, they're all recorded remotely. So
yeah, exactly. So
their own little corner, kind of doing their thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone will be in a different part of, everyone will be in most people are in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
When we did the Jane's Addiction cover, Burt McCracken from The Used was in New Zealand, I think. So it's really, really fun to get all these pieces and then put them together. It's quite a trip.
It looks like all the musicians agree. Like, did anyone turn you down? I don't think so. Did they? No?
Yeah, we had a couple of people that said no. We had a few people that said no. We had a few people that we almost had. We had more than a few people that we almost had locked in, and then something happened. Schedules changed. You're dealing with a lot of people. You're dealing with a lot of egos. You're dealing with different people. So it's not like you're dealing with the same four people every time. It's not like a band where you're dealing with the same 3 or 4 or 5 people. You're always having different people coming in. So there's always different energy that ends up coming in. But honestly, the majority of people were everybody was great to work with. Everybody was really nice. And they're donating their time. They're donating their time. They're donating their resources. A lot of these guys went and recorded because they didn't have studios at home, in studios, paid for their time just because they really wanted to be a part of it. So it's a pretty rad experience. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like you've got a lot of fusion of like rap and like metal and like all kinds of different like genres of music, which I noticed you do that a lot with your with these covers.
Yeah, the first one. What we did is we said let's pick songs that we love.
Yeah.
And we had to, all three of us, me, myself, and Bill, but myself, Kevin, and Bill, all had to agree on loving the song.
Yeah.
So, Faith No More's We Care a Lot was an easy pick. I mean, everybody loves
Yeah.
that song. And then when we did Jane's Addiction's Mountain Song, that's another song that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And then doing Public Enemy, She Watched Channel Zero. I mean, I love Public Enemy. Chuck D is one of my heroes. I mean, I've got a Chuck D portrait tattooed on me. I've got the
Wow.
Public Enemy logo tattooed on me. I'm a huge Public Enemy fan, so
Yeah.
that was a trip. Also, what was really neat was the first song we did was a Faith No More song, and then the third cover we did, we had Billy and Mike from Faith No More that played on it.
Yeah, I
So
saw
that
that.
was really cool too. So it was a lot of, personally, like from a selfish point of view, it was a really, really fun project because I got to create with a lot of people I really respected.
Right.
And so that, rap and metal really do fuse well together. So to have a couple of songs that were kind of rap metal-y, it was
Yeah.
fun. Like She Watched Channel Zero has that Slayer riff in it.
Yeah.
Just another, and the new one we did, Just Another Victim, it's Helmet and House of Pain. It was from the Judgment Night soundtrack that came out in the early 90s. So that was a fun song to cover too. So all of it's been really, really fun. And I'd love to keep doing these, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of coordination. And unfortunately, because so many people are not unfortunately, fortunately, a lot of people are getting back to work and they're getting busy again. So, what I like about it is that these 4 covers will always be a snapshot of what was going on between 2000 and 2021.
Right.
This is really where the world was. I mean, some of these guys were not able to go out and work at all.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were just sitting at home and they were happy to do it, But as the world kind of opened up, especially in the US, because we're in Canada, but in the US, things were opening up a lot quicker than here. So
Yeah.
a lot of these guys were starting to rehearse for tours. A lot of them were going abroad to tour. So it became more and more of a challenge to get everybody together. But it's an awesome project, and it's something that I'll always look back on and go, man, I can't believe we did that. Because people's reactions they were like, how the hell did you get this guy on a track with this guy? And
Yeah.
like Richard Patrick from Filter, he was on 2 of them. I'm a huge Filter fan.
Okay.
And that was really, really fun to have him on. And it was just a lot of, it was honestly, it was 98% fun. And there might have been 2% that sucked, which is great ratio when you think
Yeah.
a lot of the time in most work that you do, there's like maybe 60% good and 40% suck. So it was pretty cool.
Well, it's great that a lot of people said yes, and I guess because it was for a great cause, right?
Yeah.
So like musicians, I mean, they could still record remotely and they could still work on projects, but the funding is for the roadies, right? And they're the ones that are really taking the hit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no show that they're not getting paid, pretty much.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why when we did the first one, we said let's try to, it was actually Faith No More's manager, a guy named Tim, that said, why don't we? Because we were trying to get Billy Gould to do a cameo at the end of the first one because it was a Faith No More song. So at the end, there's a cameo. Billy Gould does a cameo at the end.
Yes.
And in speaking with Tim, he had said, hey, maybe put a charitable component to this. And I was like, well, that's what we want to do. We want to find the right charity.
Right.
So that's when he told me. He introduced me to a guy named Yeti, who is a drum tech, and he was putting together something called Roadie Relief to help out of work roadies. So we immediately partnered with him, and that's been the cause that we've worked with ever since. And the direct money that we've seen raised from Kings of Quarantine directly is through Bandcamp. So the audio versions of these songs are available on Bandcamp. We have a Kings of Quarantine Bandcamp page, and everybody can go on and buy the song for $1 or whatever they want to donate. So I think we've raised over $4,000 just from Bandcamp, which is great. And then every time that we would release one of these, it would bring more awareness to Roadie Relief, and they saw their donation page going up on their GoFundMe page. So it was really nice. And when those first rounds of checks went out to roadies, we were really proud that we got to see them directly, something that we did directly help out somebody, maybe feed their family that week. Because like you said, musicians, a lot of them have, they've got royalties that they receive from performance. They have or royalties they receive from recordings. They have merchandise that they can sell. But roadies, when the shows stop, they can't work.
Yeah. I was explaining that to somebody the other day, and they said, well, you know, why can't the roadies go out and get another job during quarantine? And it's like, it's not that easy. I'm sure a lot of them are trying to do other things during this time, but if that's what your job is and that's what you're trained for, what can you do at this point?
I mean, I think like anything in life, when your back's up against the wall, you'll do whatever it takes to rent and to feed yourself. And a lot of them did, but the reality is that a lot of these guys were used to, you know, being out on the road, steady, making a good living. And then all of a sudden, you know, when you've got you know what it's like, you know, you've got a mortgage to pay and you've got mouths to feed and you've got bills that are coming in, like they don't stop coming in. And we were really fortunate in Canada that we got, you know, we had a lot of assistance, but the US didn't have that. And a lot of guys, a lot of people around the world, not every country had what we had in terms of you know, help. So it was nice to see that we were able to do a little bit of good with this at the same time as make people happy, because a lot of people were so excited about these covers. They were like, can't wait for the next one. What's going to be next? We get people sending us messages and asking us for, you know, sending us different suggestions for songs that we could do. And it was really fun. It was really interactive and people really dug it.
Yeah, especially like the first one came out a year ago, right? About in October of last year?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably about a year, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and everyone was pretty much, it was like during the, I don't know if it was the first wave or the second wave or the lockdown, it was October and everybody was depressed and it was like something exciting to kind of, you know, change your mood and whatnot during this time.
Yeah. Oh, it really got a tremendous response from people. People really were excited about it. So, and that gave us the energy to keep going. Yeah,
and even the audio was great, but even the videos were cool. Like I remember when I first saw Veruca Salt, I was like, wow, like you got so many interesting people to help you out.
Yeah. Working with Louise Post. I mean, you know, I could say this about every one of the people that were on these covers, but working with Louise was awesome because I'm a lifelong Veruca Salt fan.
Yeah.
You know, in the early 90s when they dropped American Size, and I love that album. I used to listen to it religiously. I kind of had a little crush on her at one point, I remember. I mean, who didn't? You know, I think every 20-year-old guy had a crush on Louise at one point, but she was just so nice to work with. And that was because of Richard. You know, Richard and her were originally from Chicago and they went way back. So she was just a dream to deal with, and she was so nice, so nice. And she was so excited about the response too. You know, I remember in the first couple of weeks when it was getting crazy views, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's at this many views. And I would be texting her back and forth, and she was just really nice. She's really, really rad to deal with. So yeah, it was fun. It was really, really fun.
So you've done 4 covers so far, and you're not sure if you're going to do more because, as you said, touring is picking up in the States.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not in Canada as much. I find a lot of shows been canceled.
Yeah, it's been a bit challenging for Canadians. You know, like this weekend we had the Osheaga get together, which was fun, and that was really fun to be at. But a lot of bigger acts they're just not doing their tours. So we're talking about doing a Canadian one, all Canadian one. We've got drum tracks done from three drummers have done 3 different songs for us. So we've got drums for 3 really cool songs that are done by 3 pretty big Canadian drummers.
Oh wow!
And they're already recorded, and we've got videos for them. So I think we're going to maybe try to do a Canadian version. We talked about doing that, but we'll see. It really all depends on the time frame and if people are available and stuff. But we've talked about doing that because Canada's still kind of been hit. You know, it's still a bit slower for us to get back to normal.
Right. Well, maybe if you have enough tracks, you could put like an album together. No.
That's another thing we talked about. We really want to try to do a vinyl version of this once we're, you know. And that's the thing is like every time we finish one, we're like, all right, I think we're done. That was a lot of work. And then we're like, but we have this track still. Like, you know, because when we originally did it, we were working on 3 or 4 of them at a time. So one would be in one phase of development, and the other one would. So it was always like you'd always have stuff coming in. So we ended up getting a lot of drum tracks done from a lot of different drummers.
Okay.
And we're still left with these 3 that we want to finish. So we've got a we've got a Queens of the Stone Age song. We've got a song by a band called Local H, and we've got Stone Temple Pilots song.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do one. You know, maybe we'll do another one. I hope we get to do another one. It'll be fun.
Well, yeah, if you have 8 tracks, you can maybe put an album out. It won't be a, well,
yeah, I mean,
two
listen,
more.
I think I've talked to, you know, every time I talk to Bill, like Bill really wants to do Drain You by Nirvana.
Oh.
So we've talked about maybe doing that one, but we'll see. I mean, I've actually got to get on the phone with him this week and say, hey, are we doing more, or do you want to do, like, because everybody's getting busy. Like they're starting to tour they're playing every weekend, big festivals, you know. I think they're going out to North Carolina this weekend for Aftershock, or South Carolina, I'm not sure, but you know, Mastodon's dropping a new album the end of October, so he's going to get super busy. So, and he's got to be on it. Like if he's not on it, it's not the Kings of Quarantine, because he's part of our band. So, so we have to figure it out. But I mean, I hope we can do more of them, because they've been a lot of fun to do.
So, okay, so you get a lot of collaborators, but the actual Kings of Quarantine are you, Kevin, Jardine?
Yeah, and Bill.
Okay, so it's the three of you, and then special guests, which you have a lot of special guests.
A ton. Probably at this point we've had 40 maybe, or 30.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if I was to list down a list of all the just the band affiliation, it's crazy. It's like a who's who of rock. You know, you figure Korn, Anthrax, Run DMC, Mastodon, Our Lady Peace, Filter, Veruca Salt, The Used.
Even you got a member of Beastie Boys, didn't you?
Yeah, Mixmaster Mike's and the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, Faith No More, Brutal Truth, you know, Sick of It All, Papa Roach, Five Finger Death Punch. It's bananas.
You have a lot of cool friends, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that 311 as well. I mean, you know, Peanut from 311 was on Mountain Song, and he was great. And then Essay from 311 was on. And it's funny when you talk to some people too, like some people, like anything, you know, some people, it's like they deliver their track and it's like, all right, thanks. You know, you move on. And then there's other people who, you know, I keep, you know, West Borland from Limp Bizkit, like I got to write it down because I forget, because there's so many, but but Essay from 311 and I were chatting quite a bit, and he's awesome. You know, he's one of those guys. We got off the phone, and I think one night I was on the phone for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, you know, I really would like, you're the kind of guy that I think I want to stay in touch with. He was like, yeah, you too. And it was really nice. So it's nice when you make these connections, because that, to me, that's what life's all about, is making nice connections with people.
Yeah. Is he based in LA?
He's based in, just outside of LA.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like you said, it's just, you've got all these global contacts, and it's people from all around the world, and they all pretty much are on the same, you know, page, want the same goal, kind of just want to help people out.
Yeah, just want to get things back to normal, you know. So it's kind of nice when you are a group of people that are like-minded, and you want to just, you know, you just want to A, create something cool, B, do some good, and C, blow people's minds. So, and everybody was all on the same page for that too. Yeah,
it's like win-win-win. And we need to shine a light. I mean, now it's your 4th track and stuff, but still, people can still donate, and people can still be aware and help out.
Yeah, if they go to roadierelief.org, they can donate. If they go to the Kings of Quarantine Bandcamp page, all 4 songs are up there. They're $1 each, or whatever you want to give, more than $1. So it's fun. Like we had one guy that gave $100 every time a song was released, which I thought was really, really rad. So it's cool, and it's a really unique piece of rock history. I mean, the reality is that a lot of people did some of these things, but no one did it like we did. I mean, we did it. The audio's album quality. Kevin did a phenomenal job mixing stuff. So when you listen to the tracks on their own, besides the video, it sounds great. And then Ryan's editing on the video. I mean, Ryan's like my little brother. You know, he's like one of my best buddies, and he just did a phenomenal job putting it together. So there was a lot of work that went in on the back end. You know, my wife Julia was helping me with all the press releases and getting everything uploaded. It was now, you know, on this last one, I was able to do a little bit more on my own, because it was kind of a system. Like, we know we have to upload it to YouTube. We know we have to set a premiere date. Like, but there's a lot of little steps on the first one. I'm like, where are we going to put it? Where are we going to house it? Like it was, but it was fun. It was like really something to do during the lockdown because there's a lot, I was working consistently, but a lot of the stuff that I worked in, like Comic-Con, the festivals and stuff, were just dead in the water. So it was kind of a nice thing that kind of saved me during this whole lockdown in terms of like having something creative to do. If we do a Canadian one, I think we're going to have to get one of those ladies on your t-shirt because I love the Anti-Queens.
Me too, yeah. There's a lot, and there's Les Shirley, there's Beaches. Well, Beaches are not heavy metal, but there's some really great.
Well, it's funny. The Beaches manager, Mark, and I are buddies, and he's the one that got us Richard Patrick. So we've talked to. I would love to get them involved. I'd love to get the Beaches, and I love those girls. They're the best.
Yeah, I saw them at the CHOM Rock Room actually in March of
2021.
2020.
Yeah. Well, that was for the longest time. That was the last live show I went to. It was the CHOM Rock Room. You realize that when you don't have live, especially live music, when you don't have live music in your life, and you take it for granted. And then just this weekend being at the Osheaga get together, seeing the guys in Half Moon Run again.
Yeah.
I love those guys. I've been following them since the beginning, been helping them as much as I can since the beginning, and to see them reach the stage that they're at, headlining a festival like that, and just being able to see them do what they love again.
Yeah.
Live, what they're meant to do. It was great. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, the damn truth too. I find that you can tell how excited they are to be performing again.
Oh yeah, they were great. They were great.
Yeah,
it was so good to see them. They always do, and we've got some great talent in the city.
Yes.
I always try to keep my ear to the ground, and I get excited about new stuff. Like there's a new band, they're called Valence. They played, they were great. There's this new artist named Maggie Lennon.
I saw Maggie Lennon opening up for Elephant Stone like 2 years ago.
She amazing?
Yes. Yeah.
So her new album's out. I absolutely love her. I think it's one of the best things I've heard this year. And so it's exciting. Music brings up a lot of emotions for a lot of people differently. And for me, it's such an important part of my life.
Me
so
too.
For me not to have live music, it's good to have live music back. And it's good to see it coming back slowly. And it might suck when you have to go into a venue and you have to sit down and you have to have a mask on so you sit in your seat. You have to be distanced. But if that's what it takes for me to see live music, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'll do it. It's not such a big deal. It was great talking to you, Jason. Thank you so much. And
yes, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. Anybody that talks about this project, we're really, really happy because it's an important one for us.